I taught desert survival for a while when I was younger. I don't know, I probably have about a year, maybe 2 years of just sleeping in the dirt under my belt. And this is what you end up with the longer you're out in the woods. Most, I guess we can take the bar coat off. Most survival knives are pretty thick and big and maybe more suited to like movie prop than actual survival. Usually what you're doing in survival scenario is you're just sitting there, maybe Indian style, carving different tools, you know, you're shaping your world. And the best way to shape your world, in my opinion, is with one of these little Scandinavian knives. This one's kind of dirty, sorry, I guess we used it. Real simple. This is a Frost, or no, this is a Mora, which I don't know, there's a few different brands and they all seem like they're made in the same factory somewhere like in Sweden, or most of the Scandinavian knives are similar. The most important thing to notice is just how narrow or how thin the blade is. Humans aren't as strong as they give themselves credit for. It's pretty hard to break steel, so you don't really necessarily need a super heavy duty knife, unless, even if you're chopping with a knife, it's pretty hard to break it. You might dent or nick the edge if you're going really nutso, and you might break the tip. You can live without that. You just sharpen away and away you go. Most important thing is that when you cut through a piece of wood, which is 90% of what you're going to be doing in a survival situation, is that that knife is sharp enough to cut through. And now you can get a much thicker knife, razor sharp, you know, it'll shave the hair on your arm just, you know, with no water, no shaving cream, nothing. It'll just, but that doesn't mean it's going to do what I'm doing very well, because I wish I could just break this knife in half. But if you look at that cross section, imagine you cut it in half, what you're ending up with is something, a cross section about like that, that's just slipping in between those wood fibers. Most survival knives have a cross section about that angle, and this part right here where my fingers are touching. So anyway, this is good for cutting wood. This is hard. It's hard to get that to plow through the wood. And so the best way I can tell you to experiment is to get a kitchen knife and go out and carve some wood, and then take your Rambo survival knife and carve some wood, and you're gonna love the kitchen knife a lot better. Now it's hard in this overcast light, but you can see this bevel here. That is the entire bevel. You would sharpen this whole 1/4 inch bevel. You don't just sharpen the edge out here. And that's another thing that, it's another way that it stays, because it's got to be sharp, and it's got to be a really narrow angle on that bevel. So fits in the hand good, super cheap. My buddy who was a ranger, he always says 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So instead of spending, you know, a lot of money on a survival knife, consider spending a little bit of money on a bunch of these true survival knives, and you'll keep one in your glove box, fishing kit. Last year I butchered a wild turkey that I shot with one of these, and it was really easy because it's just small. It just wants to be in your hand. This is like an extension of your hand. This is well, this is the ultimate survival knife. I haven't found anything better. And we sell these, Chain Cutter sells these for I think $10 or so a piece. So try and beat that price whenever I go to these anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Sure makes whittling a lot more fun. The stick wished it ran away before it saw me. There you go.